LeBron is coming for the haters, you guys. The NBA vet hasn't been able to catch a break recently, and he's finally had enough. He took to social media to post cryptic messages, and they could be a direct clapback to David Griffin, who dragged him in a Sports Illustrated interview. Speaking of Griffin, he claimed that his comments about LeBron were misconstrued, and Kyle Kuzma is coming to his teammates' defense and says that LeBron is more focused than ever. We'll see about that. Let's discuss. Hey guys, it's Devin Howard. If you're not following me on Instagram, you should do it now at Devin Howard. Subscribe to the Fumble so you always get the latest sports news, and tap the bell for notifications. So LeBron hasn't had it easy recently. He was called out for jumping into his son's layup lines to show off his dunks, and then he was dragged for that whole Taco Tuesday incident, and then yesterday, ex-Cavs GM David Griffin dragged the superstar just to twist the knife in the wound a little bit more. I told you about that yesterday, but just in case you missed it, here's a brief rundown. Griffin spoke with Sports Illustrated and didn't have very many positive things to say about LeBron. He said that LeBron doesn't prioritize winning like he used to. He thinks that after the Cavs took home the title, LeBron sort of lost interest in truly being a champion of the sport. He also thinks that LeBron's superstar status and the he can do no wrong mentality is damaging to the success of the Lakers. He said, quote, LeBron is getting all of the credit and none of the blame. He also said that working with LeBron and building a team around him was miserable. Quote, everything we did was so inorganic and unsustainable and frankly not fun. I was miserable. Literally, the moment we won the championship, I knew I was gonna leave. There was no way I was gonna stay for any amount of money. Griffin painted a pretty tragic picture of his time on the Cavs, and particularly his experience working closely with LeBron. He's not the first person to admit that working with him is stressful, but apparently that was the straw that broke the camel's back for the forward. LeBron decided he is not going to be quiet anymore, and he came for all the trolls on social media. He took to his Twitter to say, all right, enough is enough. The throne has been played with too much and I ain't for horseplay. Ether coming soon, #jamesgang. I love a good cryptic tweet, but man, I wish he spelled the word "to" right. Would have been so much more powerful. Anyway, back to the important stuff. What does this tweet mean? Is LeBron directly responding to David Griffin, a man he once worked with closely, or is this a message to all his haters? The people who criticized his behavior at Bronny's game, the groups that slammed his Taco Tuesday celebration, the basketball fans who claim his reign as king is over after missing the playoffs last season. We don't know for sure, but if I had to guess, I'd say this is a clapback to David Griffin. The timing is too perfect for it not to be. Plus, Griffin's comments are way more of a personal attack to LeBron than any of the shade he's receiving from random strangers online. Think about it. These two worked together closely for years. Griffin built teams centered around LeBron. They had conversations, difficult ones, Griffin claims in his interview. So for him to come out and publicly slam the superstar that brought the Cavs a ring when he was the GM has to sting more than hateful tweets from a troll online. But here's another thing. Sources close to Griffin claim that his comments were taken out of context, and he and LeBron reportedly had a private conversation about it after the interview was published. The source says that the Pelican exec's comments about it being miserable working with LeBron were mostly in reference to the media machine surrounding the athlete. Griffin found it difficult to work with someone who was a star athlete and a major celebrity. The source clarifies that James was not the problem, his immense popularity was. Whether or not that's true, we do know that LeBron has a reputation of being difficult to work with. Griffin could have just been backtracking because he doesn't want the negative media frenzy to interfere with his new gig running the Pels front office. And luckily, it seems like LeBron's using all the criticism as fuel for his fire. The dude is super motivated. In a story on his Instagram, he wrote, well, let's get it, with a pretty fitting Ice Cube song behind it. Listen.
Go on, y'all. Goddamn, I'm glad y'all set it off.
That's a pretty pointed message. Kyle Kuzma is also backing up his teammate. He spoke to ESPN about some of the comments thrown LeBron's way and said, this offseason, you see just people slandering his name and saying this about him, saying that. But you know, he's been super motivated this offseason, working between shooting movies. He's in the gym, early, night, whatever. So just being locked in, that's the biggest thing, being ready for it all. According to Kuzma, LeBron hasn't lost any any of his drive to win. The Lakers player also supported Bron's tweet by responding with a couple of goats. We still have a ways to go before we can see how committed LeBron truly is to winning. For my sake, I hope all the shade he's been getting really is pushing him to prove people wrong. We need a good season over here in LA. We really do. Alright, you guys, chat with me in the comments. Was LeBron clapping back at Griffin? Do you think Griffin's comments were blown out of proportion? Let me know, and as always, subscribe, tap the bell, and check back in with me later for more of the news you need.